Hello and welcome back to Aiden's What If Civilization Started Over. As you may have noticed, the map has changed a little bit. I've got a new, more high quality map that is more detailed, and the country borders may be a little different, but no one really watches the series, so I don't really care. Our first event is going to take place in the brown team. So as you may remember, they recently landed in Britain, or Cornwall to be specific, but there were some people who were spreading more east because they wanted to get to this side of Europe. And since these guys want to go north and some people want to go east, there's going to just be another split of. Yeah, there's going to be another split. It's not really a war, it's just going to be another split. And then these guys are going to say, like, we want to go east, so you should let us do that. And then other guys are going to be like, sure, you can go east. We'll just focus on going north though, and going north they do. Explore a little bit here, and they see that there's a little thing here, and they get around there. And these other guys are just gonna keep going east, and they're gonna chill out for now. But let's give them a capital, which is obviously going to be in this nice area here. It's going to be where their capital is, and boom, we have a new country. It's pretty big for a new country, but these guys are still close despite splitting up. They're still very similar, and they have similar goals, which is to explore. Now, as the Lime team, I already kind of drew this in. As the Lime team got Sardinia, they did discover a little bit of northern Corsica, but what is going to happen is that the yellow team is actually going to figure out like where the top half is, and along with just the coast of Italy here, they'll run along in all these small islands you see. And what they're gonna do is take the top half of the island and keep taking it down until they discover the Lime Team people. And we'll just say by now the Lime Team people probably have a southern outpost here. And the Lime Team people are not happy to be sharing this island with these guys. But there's nothing that they are going to do about it for now. And they're just going to have to chill out just for now. Since this area of France has been discovered for quite a while now, new tribal countries will be made here. You know, this one was just made. Some people moved down, but others are going to stay here. Additionally, purple, cyan, blue, gold, and our OG Catalan country will expand into the French territory, and all the areas that were explored will be filled in a lot more. Now, these nations, they're not strong. Even the bigger ones are about equally strong as the smaller ones. Yeah, they're all not strong. All five of them, they're all weak. They all kind of work together, kind of like a Holy Roman Empire situation, but not really at the same time. But they're chilling now. The tribe people are gaining kind of their own strength together. Now, as the Lime team suffered a embarrassment by losing an island, they will finally take the rest of Sardinia, obviously not inhabited all yet, and the Lime team's leaders are going to make a decision to chill out. What that means is they're going to focus on their pre-existing colonies and developing them instead of having a bunch of new ones. As you can see, in Spain, a similar thing has occurred where new countries popped up, and for both of these occur by just countries leaving where they're living, like just some groups like leaving, just kind of like what happened up here, but just on a smaller scale. And our pre-existing countries expanding, and something interesting is that the Lime team actually expanded inwards just a little bit because they realized they needed more farmland. And over time, oh, that's the wrong color, more of this will be explored but not inhabited because they just moved into oldly explored lands, and they will realize that they're kind of reaching the end of the coast, and it turns. That's where modern day Portugal is, but they don't know what that is. And yep, The new exploration in countries of Spain will look something like this, and a similar thing will happen in France where it'll look more like this, even though this part up here is not going to be explored much. Actually, these guys will keep going east, but France will look something like this. As the brown team goes north and expands into these lands, they keep going north and eventually they reach up here, so they're really going north. I guess they just like the cold or something. I know this looks weird, but this is genuinely what they're doing, and some people aren't going to be happy about it. They like this island, but they want to, go in a different direction. So the brown team's going to look, they're going to keep like genuinely a line up like this, but other explorers will go here and they find that they like it here, so a new country will be formed just right here, taking up all this land, and the brown team doesn't have a problem with this as it doesn't interfere with them and they just want to go north. As you can see, they'll listen to their people a little bit and explore, and eventually Wales will get mostly explored. Even these guys up here will help to explore, but you'll see in the coming future that the brown team's motives will make a lot of new groups, and the brown team will settle down and decide to expand a little bit into other territories other than just going north. And they look something like this now. Now something interesting is going to happen. With these new 3 countries forming, this purple one is going to get a leader who starts telling the people that they are ethnically better than everyone else on Earth, and that they should be the ones to conquer other people and be the richest and should have the most benefits in the world. And the people are going to believe this, and it's going to start a war between their closest neighbors, which are a little bit weaker than them, and they will have no trouble eating them up. And yeah, this guy who said they're better, the people just kind of accepted that, and they even go a little bit into this unoccupied land over here, slowly wrapping around the borders of this country in what might become an invasion later. A few skirmishes happen on the border, but it's nothing yet. Just remember that this leader, he's pretty crazy. The yellow leader wants to keep moving up towards this lake where they've explored for a while and make contact with it. They'll also just explore a bit more of these lands around the mountains and explore a bit into Italy, and we're going to see that their borders expand pretty rapidly, and they're very equal in power now to their blue neighbors, who is like their ancient rival. So their new borders are going to look something like this, and they're also set up another overseas colony thing here to enforce Corsica. Now, an interesting thing is going to happen in Corsica. They see that these guys are exploring a lot, and they feel like the people who want to live in Corsica feel like their government kind of doesn't care about them. So what's going to happen is a revolution. Now, this is a really weak revolution as they're pouring guys in from here and here, and once they hear about it, they just want to smash the revolution immediately. Now, the green team is actually going to help them out by sending them supplies, because obviously they want the whole island here, and that means the whole front of the green team is opened up. But it's going to end up being a weird stalemate where it ends up looking something like this as a stalemate, and eventually it becomes too costly, and in the end the pink guys were right. The government doesn't really care about them, and they decide to just let them go and cut their losses. Now I'm going to make a peace treaty real quick. So the green team, for helping them out, will get a chunk of land that looks something like this. These guys will get their independence, and the other yellow team will hold on to their current land, and the capital will go right there. So weirdly enough, Corsica has been split into 3, which I feel like is really weird. This is a reality that I would have never seen coming, but it's happened. And that's just how it's going to be. Looking at the Catalan country, they cannot expand anymore unless they go to war. And you know them, they love to expand. As you may remember, these guys were allies with them in the last war. These guys are going crazy. And these guys are free land. So what we're going to see happen is the crazy Catalans, the crazy red people, and the crazy purple people are all going to gang jump this poor country here. Obviously, the orange guys won't have a direct front on them, but they're gonna help out by sending resources down, and the capital's captured immediately. These guys go in from here and there, and to end it off, they just kind of split the remaining land here. And this is actually what the treaty's gonna look like. It's just like that. That's no longer a capital. And yeah, so another alliance is going to be formed between these 3 countries, as they're very friendly. And that's going to be that. Funnily enough, the Cornwall people will go north despite saying they did not want to move. And this will upset the brown people who gave them their independence. And the reason this happened is because there's a new leader who doesn't really care, and he wants to be as strong as possible. But the brown people will quickly snatch up all of this land to just stop the other guys from expanding. And in response to that, since the brown people now know like what boats are, same with the people who branched off of them, like these green guys and the Cornwall people. So the Cornwall people are just gonna send a boat around, try to land somewhere, and they land up right here. And they don't really know where this is, but they ended up there, and all the people die who were there. But don't worry, they send another ship that goes here, and then they actually learn where they are because they documented it better this time. And they make a little thing here. Now Ireland has been discovered, but they don't know that it's Ireland. And interesting enough, the brown team has shown some new colors, saying that they're willing to not go north if it is needed. And also looking at the brown team, I feel like things just aren't going well for them recently. The lands down here, yeah, they're not happy because they've been kind of left alone, as these guys have been focusing on Britain and Brittany. So they're gonna actually just join the other team, who promises to give them more development and stuff, along with this island, because why not? And this island, and this island, and that island. So that part is just gonna leave that country and go to another country. Speaking of this country, they are not friends with the blue team, and these guys are not friends with the blue team either. And they're kind of crazy, and these guys are kind of crazy. So they will be joining the alliance. So now there's 2 alliances. There's these 4 guys, and then this green guy and this purple guy who are the neutral alliance. Oh no, the yellow team has invaded the blue team. You may be asking why they're coming from up here. It's because they knew it would be undefended, and this border is heavily guarded as these 2 are ops. And yeah, the yellow team has invaded the blue team. They are equal strength, but they caught them off guard here. So the blue team immediately is going to respond to this and go through this land and encircle this little bit here. This will slowly deplete over time. And yeah, it's going to hold on a little bit for now. But it's easy to penetrate this kind of main area here, this farmland area, but it's hard to get down to the coast here. Now this is going to be a really bloody war, as these 2 teams really hate each other. But it's just going to go on. And the blue team's going to cry for help, and to no one's shock, the lime team will send them support, which will help them get rid of that area and push a little bit here. make another encirclement here and keep pushing up. Now, even with the line teams before, it's hard to push into someone's home territory. And then this encirclement fails, and now it's kind of become a stalemate. I feel like a lot of wars in the series so far have really just, there's not really been like any capitulation. They've been close wars, and countries have had to make treaties and surrender and such. But this one, it's just gonna continue forever. The borders are gonna look like this now, but this war is not gonna end. They're not gonna peace out because these two countries, they don't like each other. So the war is just gonna continue in a back and forth kind of thing. And this war is going to last 5 years long, and it is still going, and we will see how long this goes for. As of now, the war is still ongoing with the green team's support. Now we have something interesting happen, which is going to be our first union. This country is going to unify with this country, and they're going to have two capitals, as these are both tribal lands, so this country is trying to make a whole tribal kind of area, but for now, it's just going to be these two countries uniting with dual capitals, so that's pretty interesting. It's a long country now, but that's how it is. We're going to fast forward a little bit and say that this war has been going on for around 100 years now. Multiple kings have died, and it's still going on, and the borders look something like this. Now the green team is finally gonna be, they're finally ready to just hop into this thing. And what they're gonna do is, first they're gonna land here actually, because these guys were already expecting this for a while. Then they're gonna take the weakness, because they knew they would come from the south. They didn't know they would come from the north. And yeah, the top bit of Corsica is finally gone. These guys let them pass through as they helped get their independence. And Corsica is fully taken over along with this area. Next, another landing is made up here by the green team, and they slowly try to push, but it's hard to get a landing in to this place while this just happens. But that did distract some troops, and something interesting is going to happen is that this whole front falls apart, and these two teams are going to just keep going back and forth like so. But now the green team is in the war and actually helping out. Now the yellow team feels like they're kind of pressured to surrender here, because if they surrender right now, the peace treaty might be lenient, and that's what they're hoping for, so we're going to skip to that. Now this is like the 5th war that the gold team has lost against the blue team, but since it was such a stalemate, they only really lost a little bit of land here. The green team is given this weird piece of land here along with this and most of Corsica. The reason they still hold on is because they were really pushing to have some of Corsica. We don't know why. They really wanted Corsica, so they kept a little port area here. But the green team is looking very strong now. Now the green team is able to easily take in these parts of Corsica and this part here, but where they're going to struggle to keep a colony for the first time ever is right here. This place feels like they should be on their own and not with any particular area, so they're going to rebel. Or is that too close of a country? That's too close of a color to green. Hold up, let me get a new color for them. They'll be purple. This is hard, guys. This is hard. They will be beige. There we go. And they will get their capital and where an old major city used to be for the yellow guys, which will be there. So this is the first time the green team has failed to keep a country, which is interesting. It's very interesting that that happened, but it happens. Happens sometimes. And actually, these guys really don't like the green team. They still feel closer to these guys, but it's just part of the treaty that they're not allowed to go back. So they're just made into a new country. Now, so these bully countries will have a new target, which is the neutral green team. It'll start when the Catalan country immediately enters through and pushes outside the country, and word is sent immediately to the purple team to please help us, we're being under attack. Now these guys were very anti-war when they formed. They actually came from the Catalans, but they are in a military alliance. They don't have a choice but to go to war. And something very surprising is going to happen as they sweep across the orange team, despite the orange team knowing that they were going to come and protect these guys. So this is very surprising. It's because the whole time avoiding war has actually made them very developed and very capable of war. And the Catalan team immediately does not want to smoke and leaves this military alliance and surrenders. Now what's going to happen is that these two other countries are not going to leave the military alliance and surrender, and they're going to go up and they're going to keep pushing in and surround the capital even more. Now it's pretty amazing as to what happened here, as the Catalan country is probably like the second or third strongest country in the world, and we'll do a power rankings at the end. Well, after this they'll probably be nerfed down a little, and this was just really surprising to them that they just got crushed like that. The peace treaty will be lenient to them because of how fast they surrendered, but it's crazy they got crushed. And now that they surrendered, they're allowing Purple Team troops to walk through, and the reason Purple Team won is because they're the first people to invent metal swords to use. Now that's very interesting. It's not like a sword, it's just like more like a prototype, but it's like a harder stick to use, and also maybe a little bit of clothing has been worn. Before this everyone's been naked, but they've invented some clothing to wear which could serve as some protection, I guess, I don't know, against bugs or something. But this war will keep going on as Purple Team troops arrive, and we'll symbolize them as purple, and land here. Not land, but cross over here. Now they're going to find it very difficult to invade into here because they have to send a lot of troops on a long stretch. It's pretty hard. And they actually get pushed out immediately. And this war becomes kind of a stalemate as these guys can fully take over this country, but the Purple Team's struggling to actually do anything against them. And eventually they're just going to look for a peace treaty. Now in this peace treaty, minimal land is exchanged. They gain a little and they gain a little, as it was a pretty short war. This probably lasted about 6 months or so. But what's going to happen is these purple guys who are allied with these guys and not these guys anymore, because part of the treaty is they're forced to leave, are actually going to leave an alliance because they saw how they did during the war, and they thought that they should have done better in the negotiating. They think that it's kind of stupid that they only got this little chunk of land, like here is what they got. They got like that much land, which these guys think they should have got more, at least pressed for more, and so they're going to disband the alliance. So now the only alliance left is these guys and these guys. Something very interesting will be happening, which is that this cyan country will just skip across the land here and take some land in the coast here, and the red team's not going to be happy about this. This is a red country, but nothing they can do, is the cyan team's a lot stronger than they are. But they are a pretty peaceful nation, but the cyans, but this is going to anger the red people, but there's nothing they can do to retaliate. I don't think the cyan would invade the reds though. Now something very interesting is going to be happening. The Cornwall people who landed in Ireland think that this island is a holy land. They think that this is the greatest place on earth and that everyone needs to move here. And so they're going to leave and make their own country, as they believe that this is the best place ever. They think that this is really just, nothing's better than this. And this is actually the fastest exploration in all of history. Over the course of 1 year or so, most of Ireland is going to end up being explored because these people they're just so eager to come here. And it's going to look like this now on the exploration and this on the claimed. And their capital will be right here, which is very interesting. Now the reason the brown team isn't expanding is because they've learned from their mistakes and they're going to try to assimilate this area more before going more north, but they still do want to head up north. And the last zone of the video is going to be happening in our yellow team, where a country will be breaking away Now, this yellow team many times has said they were going to lock in and become better, but every time they haven't. So the original red people are going to make a revolution. They're not going to take over the whole thing this time, but they're going to be up here, and it's going to work, and they're just going to kind of be given the land. Now they want to go around this lake, so that's what they're going to do, and they're going to chill around this lake, and this is now a new nation, which the capital will be situated on the lake there. And this country strives to actually be great, unlike this country who's failed many times. The only thing this country has accomplished is keeping on to Corsica, and a minuscule part, if you even count that. Now we'll be doing a power rankings as the last thing. The lime team is number 1. The purple team is number 2. This team is number 3. Brown team is number 4. This team is number 5. The Cladolin team has really dropped off this episode. They're obviously think that since they're the origin of civilization, they need to be stronger, but for now they're pretty weak. Number 6 is going to be going over to the Cyan guys who just won a war. 8 will be these guys. 9 will be the blue team, and 10 will be these guys who keep getting land. And yeah, it's going to be the power rankings. Cornwall, Ireland, they don't make it. Neither do these guys. Neither do any of these tribal areas or these purple guys. And that is going to be all for today's episode of What If Civilization Started Over.